house so loud, three boys running around. A baby girl so sweet, life's a hectic beat. Welcome back to our lovely chaos.
Episode 9.
Episode 9. Yeah, my voice is back. And me again. I don't sound like Darth Vader. Yeah, it was intense, guys, last week. And then I completely lost my voice for like 2-3 days. Mm-hmm. Same thing. I wasn't sick, but I was going through, like, I don't know what that's called. But anyways, that's not the subject this week. My throat or my voice being on. But yeah, so today's topic is
Us against
technology.
Technology, that song.
No. What
Push
song?
me so that I can touch me, so that I can take my... I know. I think that's the wrong song. But still. Own Satisfaction by Benny Benassi. That's a good one, though. Satisfaction.
Anyways.
Technologic.
Maybe you should do a remix.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Us against technology.
Us against technology. And what does that mean? We're not against technology, but we are against our kids being with technology, if that makes any sense.
I don't want to agree with you on that one.
Okay, so
it's not actually.
Well, because I use a lot of technology.
Well, that's my point. It's not that we're against them using technology. It's just at the point
where it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
We don't want them using it as often as...
We might sound very strict, and we are about to sound like maybe cruel parents.
That's not even cruel
to
either.
some people. But that's just the way we have raised our kids. We have built this world, you can almost say, where technology is not something that is needed for them to develop their brain and themselves. Mm-hmm. You know, technology does not revolve around them, in the sense that they don't have a TV in their room.
Nope.
To begin with. We have one in our room, but that's because obviously we're grown-ups. And obviously we've tried to take out, the television out of our room, but it just hasn't happened.
We never tried, honestly.
No, we did. When we were living next door to your parents, I tried. And then I was like...
No, we didn't, though. We didn't actually take it off.
That's why I said we tried.
You flirted with the idea of taking it out.
That's me trying.
No.
Hey, that's me trying, period.
Okay.
And so they don't have that. They don't have any... It's funny. They own a PS.
Well, they don't own it. Well, they were gifted...
so they own it.
360, Xbox 360, but we have never connected.
It's literally.
It's just chilling there.
Under. I don't even know under what, the bed.
No, it's on.
It's chilling somewhere. It's like when you seen Toy Story and the little ducky that's like getting. No, it's penguin. It's getting all dusty in the corner. Well, that's our PlayStation or Xbox.
You're such a mom.
I know. I don't know.
It's like calling the PlayStation a Nintendo. Is it the Nintendo?
That thing. Well, this proves that I have no idea what it is, right? There's only one device, and I think it's because it's nostalgic to me, to you.
Well, technically, it's like 3 of them, but they don't use all of them.
Yeah, they only use one.
Well, they do use all 3 of them, but not at the same time. So they have the Nintendo Switch.
They have a Nintendo Switch. They have 3.
Two of them are the first Nintendo Switch, and then one Nintendo Switch 2.
Mm-hmm. And so they'll share it. And so we have this rule where we only allow them to use it Friday through Sunday, and for a certain period of times, or in like, I guess, a certain occasions, like if we're like on the road for a long time, or we're at...
And this is only during the school year.
There's only during the school year.
Obviously,
and
during the summer,
we'll probably have a different...
Or during, like, vacation time, then, yeah, we're more lenient.
Yeah, like, maybe an hour a day, per se. But that has been how we've navigated consoles or video games. Just because I'm not saying that it will do a harm to them, but I do believe that when a child spends so much time at such a young age behind a device, a video, like a console, I do believe that they lose their imagination in that, right? So now they're going into like a...
I want to say maybe to a certain extent, that they probably... Obviously, it opens up their imagination as well.
Well, yeah, it depends on the child too. You know, and I'm not going to take the risk because I don't know.
No, of course.
Where their brain is at.
And at the same time, like, that's a lot of blue light, exposure to them.
I just can't stand personally as a mother having my kid sitting in a room staring at a TV. That's number one. Like, I can stand them watching a movie, watching maybe a show, but literally sitting there, it just triggers something in me. My parents were never against that. Like, we had consoles, but just something in me just doesn't allow it. I don't know what it is. I still haven't figured it out. Maybe it's just
like, most of the time we do say have the TV on, but they're playing, they're running around, they're dancing, they're jumping, and the door's open and they're playing soccer outside.
So it's never like a constant, like they're just sitting in front of a TV. And so that's one. When it comes to iPads, we did the mistake with the youngest, allowing him to have an iPad at a very young age, and allowing our parents
You think the youngest?
I mean the oldest. I have too many.
Yeah, because there was a time where we were just letting them borrow our phones too.
Yes,
and that was
and
just something else.
We started to see how he was being consumed at the age of, like, I think he was 2.
And it's what is it? Also, no, I think 3.
Like 2 or 3. But he was well, my point is that he was being consumed so much that we were losing our kid to technology.
Yeah, and it was proven that there's studies, obviously, that the younger you give them a device, say like an iPad or anything, then they're more susceptible to throwing tantrums. And it's true though,
and he was actually being dependent on it. Like, he couldn't, sit at the table and not have a phone and eat like a proper child, right? Or it was getting to a point where we were getting somewhere and he was bored. He was like, "Can I have your phone?" Yeah,
or like a restaurant. So that was intense.
And I was like,
so
why?
Like, nope.
Like, color the little booklets that they give you. Like, count. I don't know. Count how many people are here. Like, do something beyond like a device, right? And so that was like, where
we had what is it, the iPad kid?
Yeah. Still.
Well, I mean, yeah, even Ike and Alec, so all 3 were becoming those type of kids. But obviously, the older Julian got, the more he understood. So obviously, we were able to
so
limit
it got to the point where we said no more, basta.
Basta or basta?
Basta. I think Eric is delusional. It's past his bedtime.
No, it's just I did work today, and I
don't you work every day?
Well, yeah, you know what I mean, though. Okay, the difference was I do work every day. The difference was I told you and baby girl to go shopping, and I had one specific what is it called? Favor. I had said, please, if possible, when I get home, have Eliana. So the boys are at my mom's house, sleeping over since yesterday, and I was like, hey, we got to record today.
It was too much fun. We were having so much fun.
I know, but the only favor I said, like, by the time that I get home, if you can have her asleep, that would be lovely, so we can record.
It didn't happen,
and it did not happen.
We got carried away.
And who had to put her to sleep?
We both did.
No, you were on your phone, and you're distracted and to go to sleep. So I was kind of falling asleep with her. So don't come at me with what would you tell me?
Okay, can we get back to the conversation?
Yeah.
And so that was the breaking point for us, right? I think with Julian. And so we
said, again, it wasn't just Julian, because Alec was the one that was.
But what I'm saying, we became more cautious about it, and we
not necessarily
more aware.
if Iker and Alec still became iPad kids in a sense. Alec was the one we had the most trouble with, actually.
Really?
Yeah, Alec was we can say he was the worst. Really? Alec was the worst. Yeah, don't you remember him always crying?
I actually don't. He was my good kid. I don't know what happened after.
No, he was the good kid when he was like a baby.
He was the best kid, guys. When I tell you he was the best kid, he was like the best kid. He was my favorite kid.
He was the best baby.
Once
he turned 2 and he was like fully walking and running, I'm not saying this negatively. Not that he was like a bad kid with like crazy, like being intense with like bad behaviors, but he became the most wild.
Yeah.
But there was a point where he was throwing a lot more tantrums because of the phone.
Yeah,
remember?
That is true.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Yeah, he was. And it was due to my parents giving him the phone so often. Mm-hmm. Now I remember. Mm-hmm. And so we would take it away.
It wasn't just your parents. It was my parents.
And he would just go off-road. And that's when I was like, okay, there's something not okay.
Yeah.
And that's when we decided. So we went from there, and we were like, okay, I know it's not going to be easy. Yep. We sat down with our parents, and I was like, Mom, Dad, no more phones. Mm-hmm. If you guys can't understand that, you're not seeing the children. We were like so intense. We were so determined. And I know it's hard to have those conversations with our parents, especially Mexicans or I want to say.
And it's okay for them to obviously.
No, but what I'm saying, it's really hard for them
spoil them.
Yeah,
but
not
obviously,
only that, but it's like my mom's like, I raised you. Like, no saliste mal. I'm like, yeah, but in my days there was no technology.
Yeah, it was a different time.
And besides, she used to like. I remember there was no TV in my room, and I used to want to watch like my novelas. Mm-hmm. And I used to have to like get this like little TV that was like the camping TV, I think. And I used to like sneak it into my room because so it's like my type of technology, but like she was against it. Like she was like, you're not watching it. I was like, why? It's my novela. Like hello. And so obviously I had my things, but now she's like, no, like there's certain things where I'll say and about the kids, and she'll be like, oh no, like, well, I raised you, you're fine. And I'm like, yeah, but it's different times, Mom. Technology nowadays, devices.
It's different times. You barely graduated high school.
Yeah, like it was a whole different story. And so going back to that, so we both sat down, had a conversation. Eric sat down, had a conversation with his parents. I sat down and had a conversation with my parents, and we were like, look, not saying that you can't give the kid the phone here and there, but every time you see him, you cannot just hand him over just because he's crying, just because he's asking for no. And so it started little by little, and obviously we would have tantrums, and on our way to certain places when it was long, we would hear it, I'm bored, I'm this. And then it turned into, I'm hungry, I want this. So like they were literally, what is it, coping, right? Is it like coping by choosing to eat, and instead of like trying to distract themselves, which I kind of researched it was like a normal transition, like for them to like, some children will like choose food or like
stress eating or
eating or like other stuff, or like biting their nails. And I'm like, and I would see it on Alec, like he would bite his nails, and I'm like, Eric, this is your side.
It's a family trait because I bite my nails.
Yeah, and I think your mom does too, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how you guys can do that. Oh, me da cosilla. But
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, obviously it's a nervous trait.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really don't know why I bite my nails. Like, there was a time where I was like able to kind of stop. Remember, like, it was a good month or two.
Oh wow.
Hey, for being constant, like, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I
but
guess.
again, I don't know.
We'll give you a reward. I'm gonna give you a star.
All right.
Cool. So from there, we both became very aware, like, no more. And I was still like, sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, because I need to do this. And eventually I started to see the difference of giving them the phones and not giving them the phones, right? When I was giving them the phones, after a few hours, they literally were acting like zombies, or they were acting like off the charts, I guess you can say it. Like, they were acting up, they were throwing tantrums, they were just not being themselves. I was like, you know what, like, I know it's hard in the moment to say no and to have them crying for a bit, but it's even harder the aftermath if I do.
Or the same thing like at restaurants. It's like, obviously you want them to be calm because you're at a restaurant, but I mean, you're always going to do that. Like, yeah. And these little kids, like, these kids are freaking smart. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not just talking about mine, like ours, like all anybody's kids. All kids are really smart. So obviously, if you don't give in, they'll be like, oh, if I throw a tantrum, then obviously I'm gonna get what I want.
So now I know there's people at the beginning that when we were at restaurants at the mall, because I usually would do it at the mall. Like, people would just stare at us, and I was like, kids screaming,
and Alec was the one that would just start screaming bloody murder.
Yes.
And I would be like, nope. And then there was a point where I was just like, I was gonna start waving, hey, how you doing? You know, like, with the kids screaming and just like me like dragging them.
Yeah, because like people are quick to judge, right? Like. But people are gonna judge you regardless. But
remember, kids always, if you're trying to change a behavior, it always gets worse before it gets better.
Yes.
And that's one thing I used to tell the families that I used to work with. So, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously they're always gonna judge. People are always gonna judge. If the child has a phone, people are gonna judge. If if the child is throwing a tantrum because you won't give them the phone, people are gonna judge. So what's gonna be the best thing for you in the long run, for your family, for your child? That's what you do. Not what other people are thinking is best in the moment, right? And so we went from there, and I remember that slowly but surely we were going to restaurants, and the kids were starting to be like, can we get that coloring book? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And they would sit there, then they would start fighting, right? But now it was kind of like, okay, there's literally no phone, right? And so I'll have my phone at times, but it's just to like take a quick like picture, right? And that's it. And then I'll try to,
at least that's something we would never actually do, like
at all. Like, me and Eric will sit at a table and talk to each other and look at each other.
Yeah, and with the kids and with the kids.
Like, we're having
not
conversations.
Like on our phone, like looking at stuff, unless it's like something we really need to like look up. Like,
or like,
say the conversation, you know, comes up that the kids want to learn something, then okay, we'll look it up.
Or like, I'm working and like I'm like texting back and forth for work.
That's
and
different.
You too. Yeah. Well, that's where I was going. And you too, like, oh, Eric's like,
but we're not like on our phone on Instagram.
No.
Trying to learn something that's not what's it called, pertaining to the situation that
we're never. That was one thing I think we've been really good at too. Like, when we're present, we're present parents, present, and we do not go on our phones at all. And if we do, it's like I said, to take a picture, to share something, to post something real quick, but we don't sit there and scroll through Instagram or Facebook or any social media
YouTube
for any
like that.
Yeah. And so, like I said, it was intense, right? So it was, like I said, us against technology. And don't get me wrong, we feel bad because our kids will be like, well, why are they on the tablets, and like, why are they on the phones, and why are they able to do that? And we would have to literally explain, well, mijo, like, this is for your own good, like, this is for the best, you know, like, you don't need technology. I didn't have it. You don't need it, and I'm perfectly fine, like grandma said, right? And don't get me wrong, our oldest keeps asking for a phone, right? And he keeps asking for a phone, and I'm like, you don't need it. You're with us. You're homeschool. Who are you gonna call? Your dogs? Like, Like, there's nobody for you to call. And if you are going somewhere, I'm not sending you
just
without
with anybody.
And like, I'm not gonna send you without you having a way of reaching me, right? And so we have to explain that to our kids. And so, I mean, social media nowadays is so dangerous, to say the least. You know, especially for children their age. And so right now Julian is entering now teenage years in a sense. Well, he'll start
next year, he'll be
evolving
13.
into that.
He's gonna be 12 this year.
Evolving into, right? And so I told Derek, I was like, I think it's time for him to start using technology, but technology in a different way. And I think
in an appropriate way.
Yeah, in an appropriate way. And that's with us showing him. Obviously, I know people are, this is a debatable, what is it called? Subject. But AI, whether we want it or not, it's coming, just like the internet one day, and people didn't believe, just like social media, and people were against it. And yeah, I mean, we can sit here and talk about the pros and cons, and like things that I don't agree from AI and things that I think are useful, you know. And so I think, like, I want to teach my kid certain things, the ways to use AI as a tool and not as a, I've heard, like, dummy down, right? Like, to him become a retarded person that he just relies on AI. No, that's not what AI is for, you know? And so I want him to be able to learn things like that. And obviously, in order for him to learn things like that, he must use our phone, he must use the computer. But there will be a time and place for us to teach him and for him to be able to, like, use it, navigate it. Okay, you're done. All right, now go back to being a kid, go back to playing, go back to doing things like that. And so, like I said, like we'll sit in a restaurant and people literally look at us like,
I mean, to start off, there is 4 kids.
Yeah, it's 4 kids.
And
then, we're always being looked at.
And like, then, I mean, we don't look old enough to be having...
No.
Yeah. They're like, how do you look so young? Like, you know...
Like, even today, I was...
so young with kids. And then we actually know how old we are. And they're like, okay. But still, 4 kids.
Yeah. Or like, 4 kids? Why so many? And I'm just like, mind your business. But not like that. Like, it's the sense that people are still trying to figure us out, and when they see us, it's almost like, I tell Eric, I feel like an extinct species.
Seriously.
Where there's just like, what is the crocodile guy? Like the voice, the one that died. I think he died from being Italy. Or the guy the Australian guy that goes, I don't know what, like, with his voice. Like, literally, that's how I feel people.
Oh my goodness, I just saw his name the other day.
Oh,
Steve Irwin.
Yeah, him.
The crocodile hunter.
The crocodile hunter. And so, yeah, we've navigated technology in a sense where we've taught our kids that you don't need technology to live, to have a sense of purpose in this world, especially as a child. You don't need it.
No.
We use technology, but we use technology in the best ways to grow our business, to promote our business.
All right. One thing I'm gonna say is that you actually use AI more than I do.
Oh no, yeah, definitely.
We have to establish that, because you're making it seem like you said we use it for our business.
I guess I
honestly,
I wish he would use it.
Yeah, I hardly don't really use it.
Okay, let me rephrase this. I use technology to my advantage.
Well, AI. I obviously use technology, but AI is one thing that I'm not scared of it. It's just I don't know how to use it like that. Obviously, I mean, okay.
I will teach you my ways.
I'm not putting in the work to really use it to
understand
my advantage.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's like Google.
Yeah.
Like, there's those people that know how to freaking navigate Google.
I know how to navigate Google.
Yeah,
like
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there, like, I feel like all the results are the same, and I'm just like, how do you, like, there's people that literally, and I've noticed this, there's people that literally will know how or what words to input into the search engine of Google to get the best results, and like
the same thing with AI.
Exactly, but I do it on Google, and it's like, let's say I'm like looking, let's just say, right, like, oh, I'm looking for a vintage jacket of certain designer, blah blah, right? Like I'll put everything like that and it won't give me what I'm looking for. But then I see somebody put it and it's just the way they switch the words and the way they like say it, and they'll find like these great places, these like vintage stores, like it'll give them like the whole shenanigans. So so I'm like, that's what happened. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. There's some people that have learned how to navigate Google or the search engine of Google on another level. And I don't know if I'm like making this thing up, but I really have seen it happen. And I'm just like, how did you get that? Like I just literally put the same words in and it's because you should have put this word in front of that word, and like that's gonna give you a better result. And I'm like,
I know, it's so weird. I'm
like, what? Okay, I guess that's okay. So, but yeah, going back to our kids, navigating that has also, I feel, I was trying to say that earlier, has made them into different children. I feel like our kids are exploring the world. They're not just sitting and trying to figure out the world through a screen or trying to navigate the world through a TV. Yeah. And so my kid, like the other day, he was like, I counted Teslas, and I'm like, what? Like,
no cars.
No, when he went with Tanya, he was like, I counted, and she was like, he sat there and counted Teslas. I was like, I know, like, I don't, and then you play that game with them. What is it called? I Spy.
Oh, I Spy.
Yeah, I Spy. And I know they play between them, and so like all these things where it's like their brain is working instead of just being in front or focusing on a tablet, or maybe they're just staring out the window and viewing their lives in a I really don't know, but that's what I used to do as a kid, stare out through the window, sometimes fall asleep, but I feel like my brain was able to rest and go on to the next thing, which was whatever I was gonna do. And I feel like sometimes we've lost that, especially nowadays in this time of life and this era. We think that our kids are best off with technology, and that's not always the case. There's always a time and place for it, but I think we have to learn how to navigate and us be against technology. And the perfect timing for Toy Story,
what is it? Toy Story 5.
I can't wait to watch it because I feel like literally that's gonna be the what is it called, the plan, the
plan
when something is made into like it's the, you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like the, oh my god, the plan, like when something is like okay, we'll leave it for later. When something, oh my god, it's gonna, I hate when I can't remember something and then we sit here and I'm like, you know what I mean, right? Like you guys know what I mean. You will figure it out later. And so I think it's the best time. I keep laughing because I'm looking at Eric and he's like falling asleep.
I'm not falling asleep actually. No.
Oh, okay, then we're good. So we're in that time where I think us as parents have to be our children's advocates in that sense, right? Because it's easy for us to give them the phone, it's easy for us to give them the tablet, it's easy for us to turn on the TV and let them watch YouTube. And that's another thing, we don't allow our kids to watch YouTube.
Unless we're present and they're like,
and it's just music
videos.
And we're present so we know what's playing, right? But like I said, our kids are not allowed, and it might sound like very strict, and we're probably coding our kids from a world that they need to live in. But I think there will be a time where we'll kind of be like, okay, time to take off the band-aid, go on, or the bandana,
the limit,
and then now you're able to go into learning, because now you have more of awareness of what is and what should be and what should not be, right? Because right now I feel like we're teaching them right from wrong. We're teaching them what life is about in our way. Obviously life is not just our way. There's different ways, there's different things out there.
They're gonna live their life the way they want to.
Exactly. So we're just teaching them our way right now, which is obviously we go back.
We're just guiding them, because obviously we're not teaching them our way either, because obviously
we're letting them be their own persona.
If it was our way, it's like, well, they could choose to take it or not.
That's true. We're teaching them like God's way. I think that's one of the things, like I said, right from wrong, that God is always watching, not judging, but watching, and things that are not okay make God sad. So with that being said, it goes back to technology. There's no need for that. There's no need for our kids to be
at all times.
At all times, yeah. So there is a balance. There's always a balance with everything. But we navigated that, and we decided, and we put our foot down, and we said no more. Our kids will not be zombies. Our kids will not be attached to technology, and our kids will be kids. And they might not be born in the 90s, but I will try to raise them as much as 90s babies as I can. And I will not, allow that to be something that is like, what is it called? Like, be held over my head, where I was like, just because I didn't want to hear my kids scream, just because I wanted to, please others and not make others uncomfortable, I'm just gonna give in. So no, if you didn't want me in your house because my kids were gonna be here running around and being loud, sorry, but not sorry. Pa' que me invitan si ya saben cómo nos ponemos. So my kids will be at your house. That's the thing. Our kids are not even like they are extra.
They are a lot. Yeah. There's
because they're kids, but because people are so used to seeing sometimes kids in front of a tablet and just sitting there and being zombies, that it's easy. But when I always say, los niños van a ser niños. Los niños van a correr. Los niños. You can't expect a kid just to sit there and not want to get up their seat after 20-30 minutes. And obviously,
especially Alec, he's one that's like always doing front flips, back flips.
Yeah, because he's still little. Dancing. He's 5 years old. Yeah. And so obviously we're teaching them little by little, right? Like, okay, you need to sit down. Okay, you can't be jumping, And so it gets easier the more you tell them, the more they're aware of what they're doing, more aware of like, okay, that's not okay. Like, I need to listen. I need to follow directions. Everybody else is sitting. Maybe I shouldn't be doing backflips in a restaurant. And like, I can't get mad at him because he's just being a child too. And I'm not gonna turn him into just what I think is gonna make everybody comfortable, because it's like, my kid obviously is learning manners. We're not gonna let them start
screaming and
or like breaking or jumping
on other people's chairs or in their booths and stuff.
But I will allow them to be okay. The kid is, okay, Alex, sit down. Julian is good now. Iker is in off, like, he has his little moment.
Yeah, like he's done eating and he starts like standing up and walking around. I'm like, dude,
and I'm like, sit down. But then I get it. I'm like, yeah. He's probably like, I'm done. What do you want me to sit here and just stare at you? Yes, I do. But you will learn that slowly but surely.
Let us finish too and then we'll go.
Yeah, but I think kids that are like that are the happiest. Oh my God. Are like the happiest kids. And we're okay with that. And like I said, whatever floats your boat, if makes it easy.
This comes from our opinion.
Yeah, obviously, this comes from our opinion. This is what we think. This is how we navigated it. This is how we got our kids from being, technology zombies.
Again, it gets worse before it gets better.
Better, yeah. And not only that, but also, I think you once mentioned that you were like, once they see you not giving in,
Mm-hmm.
they actually become more alert to them knowing their limits. Like, okay, they're not giving, they're not budging. And so that turns into everything, all aspects of how you're raising your kid. You know, when they want something, you're like, no, that's not happening, that's not happening, that's not happening. And now they know, like,
it gets to a point where there's a lot of parents that, like, okay, you know what? For example, like, what if the kid asks for, like, candy? Like, no, it's, you know, time for dinner. Like, can't eat candy yet. And then he asks again, and you say no. Then he starts to see how far he can push, because if he keeps pushing and pushing, and like, oh no, I want candy, and then he starts screaming. They're like, okay, then you give in. It's like, okay, I have to scream this much so that I can get what I want.
So they learn their limits.
Yeah, so that they learn they can see what the limit is. But obviously, if they see that you don't budge and don't give in, then they're like, okay, then yeah, I'm not gonna get what I want, even if I start kicking and screaming. Like,
Alec was having this thing where we were going to Target.
Or my
any
goodness.
Toys, like, not any, like, oh yeah, like, let's say we were going to Smart Shop.
Target was the most intense.
Was like, and it just happened out of nowhere, probably from like 4 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
it didn't really happen out of nowhere.
No, what I'm saying, like, where it got really bad, it was like from the age of like 4 to 5.
Again, it didn't really happen out of nowhere. You know what you did.
I didn't do anything. All I was giving was a toy here and there.
Okay, but then it got to the point where you were buying him every single time we went to Target.
Okay.
You even repeated the toys.
So let me tell my story.
Yes.
And so it got to the point where, so yeah, I was buying him. He went into this phase where he was really into Paw Patrol. Okay. And I'm one to be like, okay, if I really see that you're really like playing with the toy, you're being, you know, like, he's actually enjoying the toy, I'm gonna be that parent where I'm like, okay, I'll buy it for you, right? So he went into this like complete like obsession of Paw Patrol, and it was a little cart. It was like all right, like the whole
the
figures,
the dog.
So I started buying him every time we would go to Target one of the figures, so that he would start making his collection, right? So I would buy him. Eventually, he had the whole collection. He even ended up like having like the big, what is it, like the big builds of like the Chase headquarters, the Paw Patrol headquarters and stuff like that, right? And so I was like, okay, cool, he has all the toys, like, he should be satisfied. Like, me thinking as an adult, right? Not as a child, as an adult, which is one of also a mistake that sometimes we think that kids will think like us. No, they won't. And so we started, and once he had it all, we started going, and he was like, I want it again. And I'm like, dude, you already have it. No, I want it. I'm like, but you have, literally, he would carry a backpack. So I would be like, look, it's right here. He's like, no, I want it. And I'm like, oh my God. It would get to a point where I'd be like, no, Alec, you can't get it. I was sounding like, you know, that one mom where, like, I wasn't sounding Mexican. I was sounding not Mexican. I would be like, Alec, come on, Alec. It's okay, Alec. And so he would just go off-road, like, screaming where you could hear him probably outside to the parking lot. And it was so embarrassing, guys. Like, embarrassing, right? And so we started and we went, and like, I was like, okay, what do I do? Like, so then I would give in because I wanted him to be quiet. That was the first time. The second time, again, I was like, okay, no, this cannot be happening. So then that's when, like, I was like, okay, it's gonna be that time where, like, I started to grow some thick skin, and I was like, no, well, you can cry and you can cry. And so there you have Alec crying the whole store. Sometimes literally I was dragging him. I wasn't like being rough, but like I was dragging him while dragging the car while he was crying. And literally people were just staring at me, and I'm like, well, you can stare all you want, but it's only, what did you say? It's only gonna get worse before it gets better. And then it kept happening, and it kept happening, and eventually he was like, oh, they're really not gonna budge. Like the other day we went to Target, and I didn't tell him that I was gonna buy him a toy. He just assumed somehow. And so he runs and he's like, oh, mommy, this. And I was like, I'm not gonna buy you a toy. He's like, what? And he's like, I was like, I'm not gonna buy you a toy. I already told you no, and no is my last, answer. And so he's like holding his tears, right? And so he starts to like let it out, and I'm like, well, you can cry, but you're not gonna get a toy. And so he's like, oh, okay. And so he just starts playing with the toy. He gets it out of his system, and then we move on. And I was like, okay. He tried. He was like, let me try. Let me just like push the little button and see if like I'll get the prize. And I was like, no. And now he understands that. We go, and I'm like, and I always tell them, because like I don't know what they think. And if we go to like Marshall's or we go to Target or we go any like store, I'll be like, the first thing I say, I'm like, you guys are not getting a toy, because we didn't come for that. We came for other stuff. And they all look at each other like, okay, and they'll go and they'll play in the toy section. Sometimes they'll come back and I'm like, I just want to show you this. I'm like, cool. That's awesome, Julian. That's awesome. You can, oh, well, Mom, if I save up my money, I was like, yeah, you can save it up. I was like, but that will be coming out of your pocket, because the last time I bought you something, it's just sitting in the garage in that big pile of toys.
Or we ask him, where's the last one we bought you?
He'd be like, well, it's because I don't know. It's because Eliana broke it. I'm like, if you really loved your toy, you would not let anybody break it.
And no, Eliana doesn't break anything.
Yeah, she's perfect, and she's your princess.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, she does no harm. So going back to it, right? It starts with all those bad habits and technology and whatnot. And like, that's just our advice for you guys. If you guys are trying to navigate that, I always hear a lot of parents like, so they don't have devices? Like, oh, that's cool. Like, they just sit there. And I'm like, oh.
Well, no, they don't just sit there, but
you know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
yes and no.
Yes and no, And so like we navigate it. That's the way we navigate it, having those conversations with the people that would give it to them when we weren't around, which were our parents. That was our first step, right? And having that conversation, it's not easy. It's the same thing, repetitive, telling them every so often, and telling them so often, and every, until they realize like it's for their own good. Like, I know it's like for you guys, it's like a way of spoiling them, but it's for their own good. And so that was that. And then us having to go through embarrassment for a while, and being pointed at and looked at and stared at and judged at.
But
there was a few times I was pointed at. Yes. And kidding. She would be like, and I'd be like, don't talk to me, like, it's not the time, or like, the pity comments or the rude comments. And, you just have to take it, because not everybody will agree with you and the way you're navigating this, but it's okay. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job as a parent. And so this is a way we navigate, and this is a way we went against technology. And like I said, we're not against technology, because obviously we use it. It's a good tool, but just the way that our kids do not need technology at the age of 9 months, or until the age of like, maybe 12, 13, then maybe they're ready to learn a thing or two.
Having more access to it.
But in the meanwhile, you don't need it, honey. Right?
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening to this podcast and being on our 9th episode, which I can't even believe we've done it. It took us so long, but now that we're here, and every day it's getting easier and easier. And we're also going to start having guests, guys, because we do believe there's so much that we can get into different conversations through mental health,
because obviously we only know so much, and there's more
professionals out there that we would love to pick their brains and their thoughts, and I know you guys would love to hear it too. Like I said, mental health. And what was the other one? Oh my god, people in the entertainment that we've worked with, that we're working with currently. I think it'd be great to also hear their stories and see how they're navigating that, in that sense too. So thank you guys, and we'll talk to you guys in our next episode.
Peace.
Bye.